Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Glad that you could join us once again. Every year in February, it's International Epilepsy Day. And Aquestive Therapeutics Chief Strategy and Development Officer, Mr. Daniel Barber, and Chief Commercial Officer, Mr. Ken Marshall, are joining us on the program today to talk about a recently FDA-approved treatment for LGS. And I'll let Mr. Barber and Mr. Marshall address the issue of LGS and the treatment that has been recently approved. Thank you both for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Daniel Barber, as Chief Strategy and Development Officer there at Aquestive Therapeutics, just a brief background. You're a medical doctor, or are you involved in healthcare? What's your background?
Thank you, Neil. From a background side, I've always been on the business side, so I have been in a variety of roles across corporate development, business development, and several managerial roles. And my focus has always been on how to bring in the right drugs and make the right innovations that are meaningful for patients.
And Ken, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 30 years plus commercial experience across companies like GlaxoSmithKline, Johnson & Johnson, as well as specialty businesses like Acaria and now Aquestive.
So Aquestive Therapeutics, what is Aquestive Therapeutics? What exactly are you involved in?
Sure, and this is Dan, Neil. I'll take that question. So we are a pharmaceutical company that's based in New Jersey. We have several products that are already available on the market for patients today. And our products and our pipeline are mainly focused on helping patients in the neurology area. So more specifically, we look to improve existing medications for the treatment of central nervous system disorders. We are a technology-focused company, so we use these technologies to improve medications. And our lead technology is something we call PharmFilm. And if you think of a thin film that's the size of a postage stamp that you can put on your tongue, in your cheek, or under your tongue, dissolves quickly. That's what the product or the platform looks like. And we can use this to improve absorption profiles. If there's side effects with the drug, we can reduce those side effects. So it's an existing technology that we're very excited about, and we look to put it to work to help patients in a variety of settings. And that's where, as you mentioned at the beginning, we did get a recent approval of a drug and called Sympazan, which we're very excited about and we think showcases our technology very well.
Now, Sympazan, it treats a specific type of nervous system disorder, or is it a shotgun type of drug?
Yes, Sympazan is a product we're very excited about. It takes advantage of the platform that Dan described, but it brings a molecule to the market, clobazam, which has a very long track record for efficacy. It's a standard of care as an anti-epileptic medicine, so it's not a new chemical entity. We're just helping doctors use it more effectively in those patients they feel it's appropriate. As Dan mentioned, and as you've noted, it's labeled for seizures associated with LGS. If you look at these types of patients and how they've had to access clobazam historically, it's really been limited to tablets and liquids, which in these patients can be sometimes challenging to administer. When you take the product platform that we've described, a thin film, recognizing that it has a high degree of mucoadhesion, which means that when you put it on a moist surface in the mouth, it sticks and stays in place. It improves the likelihood that you're going to get that dose of clobazam on board in that patient, which is a real challenge in many cases.
Does it have to be placed in a specific place inside the mouth, under the tongue, on the tongue? Can it be placed any place inside the mouth? Because it could be a challenge to get any type of drug administered.
In this case, it really just needs to be placed in the mouth. And I should back up. We engineer each presentation to meet a specific market need. And in this case, it is mucoadhesion. So this can be put on any moist surface in the mouth. It'll rapidly dissolve, and then it's taken on board by the patient like any other medicine through the GI tract. As we launch future medicines on this platform, we'll design that platform to deliver the characteristics required by the clinic. So that may not be true for all cases.
Now, I did mention that every year International Epilepsy Day occurs. What is Aquestive's role in that? Do you participate? Are you supporters of the day? Are there certain things that you promote during that special time of the year?
Yeah, we absolutely are engaged in that. And it's very important to us as a company to be involved with the communities that we help support medically. And as our first point of entry in epilepsy, we want to be an active company in that space. So we have relationships with all of the major advocacy groups, most notably the LGS Society. We're involved very actively in the education of their constituents, providing information on the disease, its management, our platform, and our products. And also then just being out and having a presence. We participate in their walks and their fundraisers. So we consider it a partnership.
Who is the prime candidate? Who benefits? What epileptic patient benefits more from this technology? There are certain characteristics, I'm sure, that maybe this platform wouldn't be as beneficial to one patient as another.
Well, I'll start that one off, Neil, and then I'm sure Ken wants to talk specifically about Sympazan. It really does depend on the problem we're trying to solve. And Sympazan is a very specific problem around dysphagia, and Ken can get into that. But when we talk about our pipeline in a minute, there are other profiles of patients who benefit from our product. As an example, where a patient needs a medication to get in very fast, we can design, and we have designed a program for that. And also in situations where in a different program, we have patients who have ALS and have trouble swallowing at all, and our product is helpful in those areas. So it really depends on what we're trying to solve. But I'll let Ken talk specifically to Sympazan.
Great.
Yeah, when you look at where clobazam is used, this year it'll be written 600,000 times by clinicians for patients that are experiencing seizures associated with LGS. In the significant minority of those patients, they're able to take those as whole pills, take the pills intact. The balance of that group are going to look for workarounds. They'll crush tablets and put it in applesauce or yogurt. They'll dilute it down into a liquid to try to get it on board because they have difficulty swallowing. They'll take a liquid formulation, which is usually high volume. It's a weight-based dose, but it usually gets to be a reasonably high volume. It has texture challenges. It's viscous. It has a strong taste. So you can start to see the unmet need that Dan's talking about here. When you start to do those types of workarounds, you create a lot of dissatisfaction in the market. You create a lot of opportunity for inaccurate dosing as you leave food in the bowl or as liquid is expelled. The patients in some cases tend to spit the liquid back out. And you get into this real conundrum around accuracy of dosing. When you've got a small, thin film with the entire dose of the product that's going to adhere to the tongue or to the cheek or whichever piece of the oral mucosa it happens to come in contact with, your probability of having that medicine go into the patient rather than being in a bowl in the residual applesauce or being spit back out if it's a viscous liquid, your probability of success and actually a dosing goes up. And so that's the clear association with the unmet need.
In talking about this pipeline, in wrapping up, let's talk about the significance of it's your late stage pipeline and what it's focused on.
Sure. Thank you, Neil. So our presence in epilepsy is something we're very serious about, and we want to be in epilepsy helping patients for years to come. So our next late stage pipeline product, which we're very excited about, is a product called Libervant. And many people may not realize, but over 3 million Americans have epilepsy. And of those 3 million plus Americans, a third of them, or over 1 million of them, have what are called refractory seizures. So even though they're on medication to control their epilepsy, they still have times where they have seizures that are uncontrolled. And the only product on the market today for patients in that situation is a rectal gel of a molecule called diazepam. So not a preferred way of administering a drug. A vast majority, by our estimate, less than 10% of the patients who need the drug take the drug. So we've developed a thin film that it goes in the cheek, so we call it buccal, and the product absorbs into the bloodstream very quickly and allows for a patient to stop their ongoing refractory seizures without having to use a rectal gel. We're in the last stages of developing this product. We plan on filing our application with the FDA this year, and we believe we will have this on the market as soon as next year. So we're very excited to bring this one to the market.
Well, where can we go online and get some more information about your company and about your products as well?
Well, our website is www.aquestive.com, and our product site is www.Sympazan.com. We're also active on several social media sites, including LinkedIn, and you'll see us making regular press releases into the news.
Thank you both for joining us here on the program this morning. Mr. Daniel Barber, Chief Strategy and Development Officer at Aquestive Therapeutics, and Mr. Ken Marshall, Chief Commercial Officer there at Aquestive Therapeutics as well. Thank you both for joining us today. Great interview.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neil Howard. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au.
Thank you for listening to Health Professional Radio. We're very proud to be an independent broadcaster providing our content free of charge to you, the listener. One of the ways that we're able to remain free and independent is by having people like you become patrons. You can support Health Professional Radio simply by visiting hpr.fm and clicking the button that says Become a Patron. Your patronage of even just $1 a month lets us know that you're there, which in turn makes us more valuable to advertisers. And, of course, if you're able to afford more, then we would certainly appreciate the support. My name is Toby Longhurst from Health Professional Radio. Please visit hpr.fm, click the Become a Patron button, and support us if you can.